Hello, Victor here again, restoringmercedes.com. Working on 190E today. Couple of things that I want to do today. Let's take a look at what's going to happen. All right, so here's 190E. What I decided to do is I decided to drop off the frontal exhaust section. That's the front exhaust from headers down to the oxygen sensor here and pipes. Now, what do we see here? The frontal section, the pipes condition is good. I see no problems here. I managed to remove the oxygen sensor. That's also a good thing. Yeah, it was there stuck. I think it's original, never ever been removed. This area, that's what was my concern, sort of. The welds here are fine. I don't see no rotting out or anything like that. So here is the underside of the cross section. This is where two pipes join together, and we see this area being in good condition. Now these are the pipes that somebody added. All right, so don't know when it happened, but it seems like it's been done a while back. And sure enough, right away we see a blowout here. See the soot? This is obviously a hole, and here it's not even welded, so I think these pipes were added on the vehicle with the exhaust still being on the vehicle. It appears to be such because it's seriously, like, you can't miss that. I mean, seriously, there is a spot where it's not welded at all, and a tiny one right here, right, tiny little bit. So that's that. Now in here, the donut situation is also is a concern because lots of soot around, as you can see. So that obviously tells you that there is some blowout here between donuts, and this one is pretty much seized up on the pipe. It's not even, it doesn't move, and it's also damaged down under here. There's like a dent on the donut right here, a big dent here. So obviously it's not sealing well, so we have all this soot around because it is leaking from this particular area, because supposed to push this donut in, compress it, it opens up and then it seals, and it's not doing its job. Also right down in this area, it appears to be a little bit of an issue. Yeah, some porous welding here, and that's that. So I guess they missed the spot here, and then they just welded right over it. So that's what it appears to be happening. Yeah, I know this clamp is kind of tired, very tired if you ask me, original, but it's still gonna work. It's still, the metal is still on it, but it's getting thin, but it's still going to work, like I said. All right, so this is where we are. This resonator is laying there hanging because now it's lubricated, and the bolts come out nice and easy because I clean the threads and lubricate it with anti-seize, and that's good. The bracket is missing the upper strap, so that is to be dealt with. And so far, this is where we are. Most importantly, why I wanted to do this job today is I wanted to install this back, but what I need to do is I need to take some measurements, because I was thinking of installing made in Canada. Look at that. Yeah, Canada. Yeah, made in Canada. Unbelievable. The pipes are made in Canada. That's pretty nice. There's some numbers on them even. So anyway, long story short, so my idea was to actually install glass packs on here instead of just straight pipes, just to quieten down the exhaust. But I'm not sure if I have enough room, because the smallest ones I saw were like 3 inches, and so that's like 6 inches altogether. So I'm not sure if I gotta measure all these pipes and see if I will be able to install a glass packs here. And I want to install a long ones, like, you know, 20 inches, something like from here to here. Very long glass packs, not some tiny little can looking ones. The dual inlet probably will not work, but again, I'm gonna take measurements today, right now, so I can place an order, and then I can take this pipe off again and then do the job. All right, there's some noises going on, there's some motion on the street, so I have to cut it quits, but hopefully we'll get to that soon. All right, so I got this new welder. This is also a basic and cheap one, but this one works much nicer than the one that I have, the newer style. And I re-welded some areas here. Still hot, actually. I painted right over. Way less slag, way less debris. It just was much nicer. You can grind it down. Don't mind these little cracks. It's the end of the pipe. It doesn't matter. So one coat of high heat paint right there, and now the exhaust is pressurized. High five right here, as you can see it. Smoke test. So it's smoking out of the inlet because it's just a pipe stuck with, you know, pipe blocked off with the rag. And I cleaned up this area a little bit because I'm expecting the donuts to come in today. But my problem is that in this area there was lots of smoke coming out because it was just like not welded. And so far so good. I couldn't, well, I mean, I think I showed it in the previous segment. What I show, oh yeah, look at this. There's a little bit still coming out, tiny little bit from here. Obviously you're never gonna hear it, but you know what, I'll still fix it. I have the welder out still, so I'm just gonna flip it and fix it. Let's flip it over real quick. Okay, so the pipe is flipped over right here. This is a tiny little spot. Focus now. Right here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grind it down around this area only. I'm gonna weld it over. I mean, I'm just going down to this little detail. We still haven't, you know, I didn't, I did not decide what I'm doing here, and I haven't decided what I'm doing with these pipes in general because something has to be done with the exhaust in terms of the noise. I don't like the tone, so the rumble, yeah, I get the rumble, but the resonator is cut open. But I mean, not cut open, it's just like emptied out because it was all destroyed internally. So, but nonetheless, I still want to have this car quieter. So I'm, like I said, maybe I'll do a single inlet or maybe single resonator outlet, single dual pipe again into the dual pipe resonator. These two clamps right here, you know, these are the original style. Or I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna take measurements of it anyway. What is the smoke? I don't even see the smoke anymore. In any event, I'll just like tack it right here because I see some moisture here, so I guess that's from the smoke test. See, the smoke is coming from the glove area here and obviously from the inlet. I'm not sure about the ends, but because I cleaned up the pipes, I still kind of like sprayed it with one coat of the paint regardless, just because, oh yeah, I see, what is that? There's a little bit of oxygen sensor, tiny little bit, because obviously it isn't tight and there is no seal to it. See, once I touched it, it's smoking right now. The smoke is coming out. But this is a use sensor. I'm not using this one. So, and obviously from the front gloves. But we have some pressure in the system, so I'm fine with that. I just need to find a tiny little bit of a leak here and call it a day. Not really important, to be honest with you, but again, I'll do it anyhow. All right, so moving along and putting this thing back in because I have to put it back in. I hope the donuts will come right now because mailman is so late, but they're supposed to be en route. They're supposed to come in. By the time I finish with that tiny little spot, I hope that the donuts will be delivered. All right, moving along. Okay, so today, Okay, so now I have the resonator removed again, and the front pipe. Now the front pipe was smoked up, and I have no more leaks anywhere, although these areas. Sen, what's going on over here? He looks like a raccoon. But anyway, so these areas I'm not touching because I'm thinking about what I'm going to do with the frontal section. So I welded the areas that were leaking. I grinded down and I sprayed with some paint, and they look pretty decent. Again, I'm not trying to win any contests with welding or what have you, but I did buy a new welder right there. And an interesting thing happened is just that I used to the old one, and this one is different, so it took me a little bit to get used to weld with that one. Now anyway, so I cleaned up a little bit on the pipes here and there, right, because these are the originals, right, so they were left alone. So I'm thinking about this, but it's going to be a video about the measurements, right? So that's the agenda. Now the reason for the resonator removal is that because I wanted to free up the clamps here. These clamps were frozen, and I didn't really want to get the bolts like the way they are, because they were difficult to undo because the clamps were frozen and there was only one way to take the bolts out. Therefore I actually made them more or less free. This one right here is a little sticky because somebody banged on it very hard, and also there were pinholes broken through. So these are welded now. I welded those over. There were pinholes around here, and I don't know, maybe during the I don't know why. It just doesn't make any sense why they were there. But so now I can move the clamp, and I can move it up and down so I can set my bolts together. Now this areas, yeah, they're rusty, but whatever. It's just because also when I smoked this resonator, I found another area where there was a leak right in this area, so I welded that over. I didn't grind it, I just left it as is, just like I left that spot alone. Now the end pipe here, somebody really did a number on this one. As you can see, very heavy hitting on the pipe here and there. So yeah, I'm thinking of going back to Harbor Freight and get the pipe extender, expander, not extender, expander, to expand it over a little bit, just to make it a little larger, because it does not fit in with the muffler pipe. So that's that. So let's just get this over with, put it down here, because I have to get the car off the ramps. Donuts, the original donut and replacement donut. Now we have the two. As you can see, the replacement donut that is right here, this is the replacement, is a little wider, so it's going to fit much nicer versus the original old donut. So that's going to be a good thing, because it's going to seal nicer, right? So I'm going to put it over here. Once I put on the tension on it, it's going to compress and it's going to be good. So it's going to seal better than the old one. Now the second one, that's a different story, because this one is a crush. This is the replacement. This is the new one. This is the crush donut, if you will. And this one, it has some metal wire in it, so this one is compressible, but it seems to be removable. So this is the old style with a dent, of course, like I showed before. There's a dent here, so obviously that's not something that you want to reuse, although if you're going to compress it very, very, very hard, maybe it's going to seal, but I would use this one. So now this one, where's the pipe? This is the end. So this is the pipe. I didn't clean it nice enough yet, so I'm not going to use it, because once this clamp goes over it and you're gonna compress it, it's going to expand, and it's gonna be one way, and it's going to be only once. So I'm not going to install this one. The other one I would, but this one I will not. So I'm going to use the old one for now, just to get the car off the ramps. As you can see, the old one doesn't fit very nicely because it's already been compressed. See here, because I cleaned the pipe a little bit, it actually fits nicer. So for that very reason, I'm still going to use the old one, because I know I will be able to remove the donut regardless. So that's that. So we have new ones, old ones, and now it's going to be the measurement time, because this is what this video is all about, to measure the actual piping. Okay. All right, so let's see how we're gonna set this up. How about that? That's about right. All right, light. Yeah, that's about right too, because it's nighttime actually. So we're going to use calipers. I brought my nice ones. This is old school steel calipers, all manual, you know, like analog, no digital, nothing. And we got the tape. So first, I thought of putting the cherry bombs glass packs, but distance wise they didn't seem to actually fit. So let me just set the camera down. So because I checked it out real quick and they didn't seem to fit, because the distance here between the pipes is very, very low. So for that reason they won't fit, because they're 3 inches in diameter, you know, the outer shell. So therefore they won't fit, because there's not enough space. I thought of a W140 chassis because the pipes are spread out further, so obviously anything will fit in there, but not in this particular case. The ends also have to go inside that resonator, and at the end of the day you can redo the whole exhaust, no problems, because in this area the pipes, you know, they cross over, so they just get together, and then you can actually just cut it right here or whatever. You can even cut it like you can cut it like right around here, and then make like single pipe bond for the oxygen sensor, and then keep going with the single pipe, like 2.5, like 275 inches, 3 inches if you want. I mean, whatever you want. But I'm not about that, because I work out here, and I can have this kind of modification done, because I do not have facility nor tools to do that. So for that very reason, I want to do whatever I can do with what I have. So now I was thinking of cherry bombs, but they were like long cherry bombs. Short ones, I mean, at the end of the day, the short ones, I can see like a 14 inches. I can put one over here, and I can put the other one over here. So that's the idea. But in any event, let's just measure the piping, so we know where we are. So this pipe right here, That measures about close to 2 inches. Maybe I should actually go. So that's close. It's like in terms of millimeters, that's like a 49 millimeters, about 49 and change. So that's that. Now the next one, and obviously they will be equal, it's just that the bend over here makes it different. This one is 49 point, let's say 3 millimeters, and the other pipe is about the same. So say 2 inches on the outside. That's probably what it's going to be, because these are metric pipes, obviously, because this is a Mercedes from 1991, so these are metric. So we're gonna have to do with well, it doesn't matter how we're gonna do it. It doesn't matter. We have to work with what we have. So these pipes, they're about the same. So what do we have? Exactly 2 inches. 2 inches exact. That's the outside diameter without these pipes being spread open. So somebody got 2-inch pipes and they expanded them to fit over the original not 2 inches, that metric sizes, so just to weld them over. All right, so that's that. Now we go back to the end. This is the original pipe. Original pipe is about 50. What am I doing? Let's see if 5 centimeters, 500 millimeters exact, and it's going to be close to 2 inches. Okay, close to 2 inches. Again, this is metric stuff, so you see how exact it is with metric scale. That is 500 millimeters, 5 centimeters, versus the standard size. So okay, so let's take a look at this one. In this area, for some reason, it's been banged on a lot. So what do we see here? This one is a little larger for some reason. I don't understand why. 5.2 centimeters. What just happened? Lights just flickered. I don't know why. Okay, so anyway, so it's 2 inches in diameter, but I probably hit something. Okay, one more time. Okay, so where were the, yeah, okay, 5 centimeters, 500 millimeters, close to 2 inches, very close to 2 inches. All right, so that's what it is. 2-inch diameter. Now the spacing, that's what I have a problem with in terms of fitting cherry bombs. Cherry bombs won't fit. I mean, you know, whatever, the glass packs. Now the length from the weld point to the other weld point, we have about 2 feet. 2 feet, say 23.5 inches, right? 23.5. The other one will be about the same, 23.25. So that's the length. So this is the length of the pipes that they put in. And now, ooh, it's about to fall down. Yeah, oh my God. All right, fine, so I'm gonna hold it. Now, how about we're gonna do it this way? Because this video is for myself, because once I install this, I'm not going to be able to get this measured again. Okay, fine. Now, the distance between the piping here, the edge of one of them is approximately from one edge to another is 5 inches, and in between we have about an inch. That's all we have, 1 inch. So 1 inch in between and 5 inches in total. That's not much. And like I said previously, we have from the bend point, I can actually weld from here, right? So my limits here are about 24 inches. Yeah, about 24 inches on this one, and this one I have 25. I can do 25 on this pipe and 24 on this pipe. So that's about it. So I know my measurements now. And oh yeah, one more measurement is the thickness of the pipe. Or two measurements more. Thickness of the pipe is going to be let's see, 2.6 millimeters. 2.6 millimeters, and diameter inside the pipe, at least this one, it's kind of banged up, but just general idea where we are. Internal diameter is 40 what you call it, 47, oh no, 46.2, about 46.2 millimeters. In terms of inches, I don't know about inches, but inches wise, because we still have to, it's probably like 1.75. That's it, just to make it simple. The other pipe, this one is like concaved, and I don't think this is going to be very accurate to measure because this is straight. Because this one is concave and in, that's not going to be a proper measurement. So one more time, on the pipe that is straight, we're looking at 1.8 inches, and we're looking at, what's the millimeters here, about 46 millimeters. So that's that. The outside diameter of the pipe, we're looking at 500 millimeters, so 5 centimeters, so close to 2 inches. This is basically where we are. That should be enough. I wanted to make this, like I said, for myself, just so I know what I can do with this, and I'm probably going to find some sort of a setup, because I do not want to actually I don't want to make the whole new exhaust, right? So resonator, let it be, it's all emptied out, the gases will flow. I'll deal with the end pipe, that's different story. I can use the clips, like I said, the pipe expander, it doesn't matter. But I want to leave this as it is, but I can do something with this area, right? Because this is like a blank slate, so that can be done. And right now I'm going to install it back. The bolts are cleaned off, threads are cleaned up. One of them is actually standard size, so somebody, I guess, removed the frontal portion of the exhaust, and they put in this one. So I got this anti-seize. Yeah, so I'm going to install that, because see how easy it was to remove the exhaust when I already did the bolts, threads, and clean up and all of that. So at this point it's going to be easy to remove it again. All right, so I guess that's a long video about nothing, but like I said, this is the video for myself, and I'm about to get this light to put down under the car, install this section real quick, and get this thing off the ramps, because I have other projects going on. All right, so for now, this is going to be all. Okay, so I just dropped the exhaust and put it in real quick. The rear section at the end is not secured. It's just like stuck in there, but the rest is in place. So let's just start it up and see what do we have here. Oh god, this thing is stuck, because let me just hit the clutch real quick. Okay, all right, so let's just start it up. Yeah. Much better, actually. Some lifters rattling because it's not secured in the end at all. Lifters are lifters. Yeah, that's a lifter noise. That's a different story. Oh God, all this smoke from all that. I don't like this exhaust at all. That muffler, I don't like the muffler at all. Lifters, that's a different story. We'll get to that when we get to that. Yeah, that's actually not too bad. Lifters are like, they'll quieten down, but this is a good result, actually. I like that. See, now the lifters are quieting down. I mean, I already changed the oil, but I have to change the filter, and probably well, I'll deal with the lifters. That's gonna be a different story. See, now they just got quiet. Well, there's one. It's gonna get quiet too. And that's it. Yeah. Once that last lifter lifts, yeah, okay, that's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. So at this point, I actually have a decently quiet exhaust. These are gonna quiet down, so they're going away. The sound is going away. Our question is the exhaust. So from here over, nothing very much, except for that little junction point and donut, the last donut. Last donut I'm not putting in because for obvious reasons, and the rear section is not secured. So this is really late at night. Actually can have this car running at night. Finally. Yeah, finally, lifters filled up. So we're actually in good shape, more or less. I still have to put the last donut, the second donut, and I have to compress the exhaust, the rear muffler, to the resonator, and then this thing is going to be quiet, because just the exhaust rumble. That's actually pretty quiet. Before it was way louder. Alright, so I have to wrap up for tonight because I still have to take it all apart and I have to deal with lifters, but that's the next job. Right now, as you can hear it, you can only hear a little bit of the sound. Not from the front anymore, but from the rear, right there. And obviously the rear section completely disconnected. If I'm gonna tighten up those bolts, oh, let's see. Right here. Alright, tighten these up. Probably gonna get it a little quieter, but this one. Still from there I hear it, and back here that's absolutely not secured at all. So yeah, but on the front, nothing from the front. It's back here now. But that's what I'm gonna do last once I'm done with everything else. Alright, so for now, this is gonna be all still a little sound, obviously, a little noise, but this is going to be all. And like I said, the rear section is a bummer because I don't want to compress it, but It runs pretty much quieter than it was. Alright, so this is gonna be all. This is late night and it's a long video, so we'll call it quits. This is Victor, restoringmercedes.com. Thank you for watching.